Well, hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess, and we are in the Victory Garden section of our garden. This is the back lot. My husband's been out here doing some weeding. He did not get it all finished. We have tropical storm remnants of beryl in our area for the next few days. So we're going to be getting plenty of rain, which is good because our well is down again. And we have no water for our house, and my husband's having to haul water in from other areas. But we're thankful for the rain. We can catch some rain for the animals, and we'll be able to get through this again with the Lord's help. So we're going to start with the back part of this garden because we have little cantaloupes forming. Let me get down in here so you can see. There's one there, and I know there's another one over in here. There's another one there. So we have cantaloupes forming. We've got some of our flower seeds coming up. It doesn't look like the wildflower seeds are going to do anything, but that's okay. And we've got, this is our sugar babies, and I'm always moving these vines back onto the plastic. I don't want them growing up the fence. So this is that. And I'll look in a moment and see if we have any of those. This is the pumpkin. We have blooms there for pumpkins. I'm going to be walking back and forth because I haven't been out here in a couple of days. The heat has been just unbelievably hot. Okay. They are kissing down here, but we do have a little bitty sugar baby watermelon there. And again, I'm moving vines as I go because I want them to grow in a certain direction. So I just kick them with my feet and hope for the best. I'm going to try to move this vine away from my pumpkin. I may not be able to. We'll see. I'd rather them grow towards one another. So let's go over here and check this one. And y'all, look at that. That's a cantaloupe. We got cantaloupes coming in, which I'm very, very thrilled about. This is also a pumpkin, y'all. This thing is about 2.5 feet high and about 5 feet wide. I'm seeing buds. Look at all the buds. So maybe we'll get some pumpkin out of this. Let's get this watermelon over here pulled back. Get it off the grass. And hopefully we will get plenty of fruit that I can put up in the freezer for the winter time and maybe make some jams and jellies with the rind of my watermelons. I don't see any on that one yet. This thing here is humongous. And if there's any pumpkins hiding in there, you wouldn't know it from all the limbs. But I do see a pumpkin down here forming. Let me see if I can get my stick in there and move back the limbs and get into an angle where you can see it's forming. And we got a worm on it. Some of these plants were planted later because the first set of seeds didn't take, so the vines are a little bit smaller. But we're going to kick that one back this way. Maybe it'll grow. And we have cantaloupes on this vine as well. I'm going to try to move these back. Okay, that's where it is going to stay, I guess. But we can have a beautiful little cantaloupe there. Another one there. Wonderful, wonderful to see fruit coming up. This is another wildflower bed. I see a couple of sprigs in here. I don't know how old the seeds were, so, you know, when you buy them in these boxes, you really don't know what you're getting. And we have, here we have some peas, or green beans. And we have plenty of buds. We should be getting green beans soon. This garden is good and then it's bad. It took off on some things and then other things it did not. I've got a lot of empty holes and stuff like that. But that's okay. Next year it'll be even better. These are our banana peppers, both hot and sweet. So they're kind of a mix. We don't know which is which. I've got one over there that's been eaten on. When it dries up, I'll get out here and sprinkle some diatomaceous earth. This one has wildflowers in it, and I believe this is rosemary. We went and bought some rosemary plants. Yeah, no, that's sage. That's sage. And the weeds. Like I said, he's trying to get out here and get the weeds under control for me because I just cannot do it. The cucumbers over here are having a hard time finding the trellis, although I do see a bud in there. Right in there is a bud. These are black-eyed peas. Some of them may be vining because we had to replant, and I don't know if they are vining or not. These are those little miniature bouquet hot peppers. They're starting to come out. And there's my cucumbers coming up. And I got more cucumbers in that high grass there. I'm not going to be able to walk this whole garden area because the grass has gotten too high. And my husband has to get out here and finish this up. This bed has sage and French thyme, tansy, and I forgot what I planted in the middle, y'all. I am bad. We got a little scant here from probably a raccoon. That's what I'm thinking because of the berries in it. We've got some calendula down there. And my little tomatoes here, these are the Abe Lincolns, are doing very, very well. The leaves are curled because we've had so much heat. And my marigolds are starting to bloom. I've been out here harvesting just about every day some of the basil. That one little plant is still hanging on that was eaten up early on. And more basil. Let's walk around this way. Now I can see where I'm going. I don't have to tap. This one has tansy in it. It has a tea tree in the middle. It has some sage and some St. John's wort in that bed. This is my Louisiana purple pod green beans. They're starting to trellis. We got 3 of our 4 plants of squash planted. I think these are the Zephyrs. I'm not sure. Or they might be the money makers. So we got lots and lots of buds out here. Let's look inside this plant. We've got some squash forming. Yay. So this side is struggling because of the high grass. And you know, I did companion plant a lot of this stuff, and I don't know if the companion plants made it or not either. This is the Mountain Fresh tomatoes. Again, I planted them with the marigolds, and y'all look, I got maters out here. And this back part of the garden I'm not going to be able to get into. It looks like something is attacking the sunflowers back there. Don't know. These are provider beans, and some of them are the Royal Burgundy beans that I've kind of came out here and filled in. And you can see I've got one dead plant there because of the heat. There's another one. We've got okra over here in the weeds. So that is the back part of this garden. Let's walk back through. I like to walk through the tunnels so y'all can see the streamers. These streamers are sopping wet. We had storms roll in last night. And we have corn over here in the weeds as well. My husband got out here with the weed whacker and killed all the bean plants that was in all these tall weeds, which is just fine. We will make do with whatever we have that comes out of this garden. The weeds have been horrific this year. So have the bugs and the heat. I mean, it has just been awful. Let's look in this pumpkin patch again. There's another little pumpkin down there. We may have some bigger pumpkins in there and I just can't see them yet. Our little bit of straw out here got wet, but we're going to put that into a ring, so I'm not too concerned about that. And everything is looking really healthy, except for a few burned leaves here and there from the heat. Let me get through this menagerie of vines and we'll go up front. This is the last remaining cannas that I have in my yard, and this is the only ones that the chickens have not devoured. I had cannas planted all down through here, and they took that area over and just ate everything in sight. So these are going to be moved this fall. These are the tomatoes we planted in buckets, and y'all, they are just loaded. Loaded, loaded, loaded. I'm out here picking tomatoes sometimes twice a day. We do pick them when they start to blush, like that one right there. That one will be harvested today, if I can get out here before the rain hits. These are the pink heirloom tomatoes, and these are Roma tomatoes. I planted, I think it was 24 plants of Romas and 3 of the pink heirloom. And I got another one over here blushing. I got a ginormous one down here. That's going to be fun getting out of this cage. And these are the purple heirloom. And then I've got these marigolds. If I can get it in the camera angle. Marigold, there it is. These things are humongous. These grow about 3 to 4 feet tall. But I plant them among my tomatoes every year. They're a great companion plant. So it looks like I might be getting out here and getting a couple of big tomatoes and then some little Romas. There's some more of my flowers. You can see how tall they are. They are just humongous. While we're on this side, we're going to walk down the back side. The pepper plants are flourishing. They're putting out more peppers. And I did dig up the cabbages because they were still wormy and my chickens had a feast. But I took one of the, that's a blue eucalyptus plant that it turns into a tree if you leave it in the direct soil. But if you plant it in a bucket, it does better. I believe this is, let's see what this is. This is oregano in here. And the dill and this one just did not make. And of course I've got a couple of garlic growing. Something's been nibbling on my food. You see this? Occasionally I get that, but I got my camera upside down. Occasionally I get that, but there's the peppers. So these are all bell peppers here. I've got marigolds planted in between them. This is my dill. My remaining dill did very well. Again, I've got oregano at the bottom, some garlic scapes. There was some onions and all planted among all my plants, and I don't know if they're going to do this year or I have to wait until next year. This down here are pimentos. I will show you them. They are starting to come in. That's pimento peppers. They're looking mighty fine. This plant is trying to come back after being eaten up. I got something growing there. I'm not really sure what it is. I think it's calendula, but I'm not sure. And I think that is the aromat. Something definitely ate on that plant. This is the turmeric, y'all, and my beans. And I'm waiting to see if they're going to trellis or not. We dumped the second barrel and got one potato. It was sad. We're not sure what happened to that. We don't know if the soil was too wet, too much nitrogen, or something. We're just not sure. I came out here the other day and harvested some zucchini. This is the Grow Big 24 bed, and my sunflowers are looking pitiful. The heat has just devastated everything. And I am not believing that these are the mammoth sunflowers, even though the package said they were mammoth gray stripe sunflowers. I don't believe it. Mammoth sunflower heads are humongous. These are not. I've grown these before, but I don't remember the name of them. I'll have to look them up. My strawberries are really dying back. No matter how much water we give them, they just are not going to do anything else. And even the onions are looking pitiful in those things. These are my sweet potatoes. Hubby filled these up, and I'm not even seeing the vines come up, but that one is just loaded. So maybe one of these will get some potatoes. My marigold, my beans and corn are doing really good in there. I went out and bought, this is oregano. Bought that plant to put in this. I'm going to establish this ring as a herbal bed for next year. We got a little bee out here working. Don't want to disturb. There's the scarecrow, y'all. She's all wet. These are the Dr. White's yellow tomatoes. And again, they look stressed because we've had so much heat. We've got a few leaves down there that need to be trimmed. But lo and behold, we are getting some tomatoes. So hopefully they will do good. This is also companion planted with onions and marigolds. This is where the beets were at. The beets were a total loss, but the chickens enjoyed them. The marigolds are doing very well. And this is rosemary. This is the Peter pepper. And I've been out here harvesting the basil, and the marigolds have really taken off. And I do have one good Peter pepper plant. The other ones are struggling to come in. And I'm not seeing any peppers yet. We also have cilantro planted in here. Or you can call it coriander when it goes to seed. But we do have some small pepper plants coming up. There's another pepper plant. and another pepper plant. So these will probably be late to harvest. I'm going to come out here and stake up these sunflowers. The sunflowers have really drawn the birds in. I was so excited to see birds in our area, so I don't mind planting sunflowers. The onions and broccoli in this barrel are doing good. I still have not weeded, and I'm letting my asparagus go to seed. I do have a few rosemary coming up in that, but the rest of these are pretty much a bust, which I'm sad to say. I've got onions in some of them, but most of them are a bust. My ginger root is doing well though. And then I have my little porch plants, and I lost my chicken and hen, y'all. Look at there, it died. I've got some flowers growing in that. We still got the weedy menagerie here. I'm going to walk towards our sunflower patch. The raspberries didn't take, but we may get them next year. We'll find out in the spring if they come up. I'll be looking for them. We're moving our irises slowly to an area. They're dying back, so they're going to be moved. And this is the other sunflower patch. And I do know that there's some mammoth sunflowers in this patch. Where is the question? But we got some that are opening up. And I love sunflowers, y'all. So we're going to walk the perimeter of this. I don't know exactly how large this area is. I did not measure it. But we have sunflowers. And hopefully they will continue to do well. Now this area has not been watered at all because our hose will not reach this far out. We got sunflower buds. They're fixing to bloom. And we've got a couple of them back in here that have bloomed already. And that's the eastern sky. That's why they're facing that direction. This has been an interesting journey so far this year with the garden. It's always a struggle, it seems, but we continue to persevere and try our best to put in some gardening. I do have a wild coreopsis out here. Oh, no, I take that back. That may be some of the wildflowers coming up that I planted out here. So we might get some wildflowers right in here. This is Garden Tour Club, hosted by Gail Southern Living. Weird Container Growing, hosted by Gail Southern Living. Store to Garden Grow, hosted by Lou Ann's Kitchen and Blackberry Rock Homestead. Grow Big 24, hosted by Grow Big TV. Scarecrow 24, hosted by me, the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. A couple of these will have prizes. You'll see them in the cards at the end of this, or at the beginning of this video. You may want to go back and check them out. A couple of these have prizes. Gail's goes through the end of August, and then we'll be jumping into Fall Fest 24. Y'all want to get signed up for that for sure. Thank you for watching, my friends, and may you be fully blessed.